group of like 6 or 7 of them. Like when there's little girls, like 7 of them, they don't have anything to do during that time. If Bendingeko Power, where else would they have gone to?
See what I'm saying?
So there's a gap, especially for Ilanzika, the youth, to be able to have those kind of spaces where uzokwazi ubathathe and put their energy into good use.
Xakeka8 Speti content yakho is a date. Was you relate? Ulindani. Subscribe.
Lindani Xakeka is a player, a basketball player. Upilonga kwi team called Hermanus Whale Hoopers, and he's also a coach of the same team. And Umjida today is going to be schooling us on izinto to do with the sport SSA basketball. Out here, Ukred. Eish, yabona ke sendukusabotaja nje zisuka. Ukred out here.
Right kunjani. Let's take it one stride at a time.
Yes, ilungisi mic sifondini yonke into be grand. Yabona. Bensakuncoma ukuthi your energy, you know, iyenza wonke umuntu abecome. And it is very true, because here I am, I'm calm, but suddenly i-technology nayo ingathi yiyo le ngekho calm for mna.
No, it will adapt, yeah.
It will adapt, ne? Mfethu, obviously when we have a guest up, we always get educated.
Yes.
By guests zethu, we get to learn into ezintsha, and I believe namhlanje we're going to learn a lot, especially abantu who have no idea ukuthi esi sport say basketball siya exista, number one,
exactly, yeah,
in the Overberg, and ukuthi indaba basketball isebenza njani, because people just see abantu running around beqambisa ibhola,
but it's like netball out.
Yes, and they may not have the idea ukuthi isebenza njani. You know, abanye bethu, it took us time to understand the rugby ukuthi ispana njani. So
exactly, yeah.
Tell us mfethu, is state se sports se basketball in the Overberg ungathini simendawoni, you know, give us a picture yokuthi
So it's firstly, thank you for having me. I see today finally we have a beautiful lady amongst us. It's not longer Oprah or Tony. Props to that. But Brati, basically the basketball code is sport. It's not actually that known. Not at all actually. I last found out that there was once an Overberg association, basketball, that existed, but it wasn't actually active to the point where you had basketball teams operating or active in the Overberg area. My interest in it started in 2017, actually in 2013, but that was when I was still in school. I saw other guys playing it. I was like, what are these guys doing? I didn't know what the sport was. But what actually was the physical aspect of it. I'm a active person. I choose to say I'm an athlete because I choose to play any sport. Any sport you want to play, you can bring me along. So I chose to take part in it in 2017, and I saw the benefits physically that it had, because it's mostly a full body workout for me, because you train from your lower body to your abdominal, cardiovascular exercises to your upper body. So for me, at the start, it was physical, but then I got to know the theory of the sport, like the values, the core values and the objectives of the sport outside of the actual physical aspect of it, but too ilanzika theory yayo and the values that it portrays kumuntu lo idlalayo. Currently we I wouldn't say active, but the only amateur team that exists is Iwel Hoopers that we are trying to start. I've been trying to start since 2017 with the help of Uluwayne Green, who resides in Worcester, who is part of the Worcester Knights, which has been around for a long time. It's part of the Cape Winelands district, which is in Worcester. So he got us involved with basketball. And since then, we've been actually trying to have a fully established team, Hermanus, that's gonna be broader, or maybe branch out into the whole Overberg, meaning maybe Gansbaai, Stanford to Igrabo and Swellendam and all of those places. So that is the objective. Currently, right now, we're still an amateur team that's trying to build upon what we started in 2017.
Ezinye areas zase Overberg okanye mandithi ezinye area outside of Overberg in the Western Cape.
In the Western Cape.
There's ezinye areas that you know of whereby sport is basketball. Apho sishushu khona.
Apho sishushu khona ndingathi Cape Town, like in the Western Cape. As Stellenbosch has a team, Paul has a team, Worcester has a team, the teams that I know, Enyanga, Kraaifontein, Helderberg, Heideveld, basically there's a team in that area, and even a Khayelitsha, there's a team that is there, KRS basketball team. Zinins, and all thanks to Ilanzekbonabane Association, which is the CTBA, which is the Cape Town Basketball Association. So they have leagues from your juniors to your seniors. So they have active leagues as in Ziyakhiphato8, so that's why now they're more active more than we are this side because of an active basketball association, which I feel is what we need. Yeah.
Okay. It sounded like you calling in a question.
Yes.
I'm completely clueless when it comes to basketball. It's same as netball, so it's not even a gender thing. In terms of like abantu abadlalayo baleni niba bangaphi umzekelo, do you guys have reserves? Are there initiatives mhlawumbe like where you recruit other members in the community? Are you comfortable to be recruiting people at the moment?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, start off with your first question, Baba Bangapa Bahandu. So inside you'd find that there's 5 per team, 5 aside. So there's hoops opposite each other. Other teams goes on the other hoop, other teams goes on the other hoop. So 5 aside with it varies. Let's say perhaps you get reserved. I equal and as a Poland, but if you get subbed off, you can't come in again. So Pago, you can literally, we play 4 quarters. You can play maybe 12 minutes for the quarter is plus minus 12 minutes. Some people play 10, some people play 12 minutes. So that's 12 times 4 quarters. You can literally play 6 minutes a quarter, or maybe play another 2 minutes, or play 6 minutes for a third quarter, and then another 3 minutes on the fourth quarter. But that's how it goes. The last question was?
Okay. My other question was what are you recruiting?
Currently we're on an open basis kind of thing. We're not we don't have a particular time where we'll say we're recruiting at this particular time, but it's open based to anyone who wants to join. So if you feel like you're interested or you have an interest in the sport, you're always welcome to come join us. We're available during the week around 5. Sometimes I'm there even earlier than 5, but there's no recruiting basis, but just on open basis for anyone who wants to join and come in. From girls to boys, it doesn't have any genders to it. There's even, let's say for example, there's the NBA. The NBA is the more popular brand or the more popular product here, basketball, which comes from the US of A. So that's called the NBA, but they also have the WNBA, which is the Women's League.
I see.
Exactly.
And
so explain. Okay, just a moment. Explain NBA. Who has no clue.
So that's the National Basketball Association. That's the men's senior basketball association. Then you get the Women's National Basketball Association, which is the WNBA.
Sure, Charlotte.
The reason I was asking the question was because Anditi basically you are like we are Khalil Bas equal obviously.
Yes.
So that we have an established team at Hermanus. So now I'm trying to see if la potential it's like it's an actual team of interested individuals, so that we can even have a time where we have like under 17s, under 18s, under that.
Easily, because they're also active in the school system. They have an active school system of basketball, even though it's not that active, but it does exist. So they have players in the primaries, so meaning you can easily have juniors. They have a team once again in the high school. You can easily have your seniors there, both male and female. which I do work with, but it's a problem of being available all the time, the consistency.
Oh, yes.
We have guys that come in maybe during the week. Whenever I'm there, they do come in to play with us. You're under 13s, you're under 16s to your under 18s, and then you get your senior teams. And even the women, the girls also play basketball also.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I've been waiting to see that because I know Guti, sometimes depending by Kwepi area, that is ESA sports but dominated by Amajita.
Yeah.
So,
with basketball, it's fluid, it's gender fluid. There is no,
nice.
You'll find that the NBA, with any sport, it's a more, anything is a product, Pratine. So if your product sells, that means you're gonna make more revenue out of it. So the NBA as a product sells more than the WNBA sells. So the male athletes of basketball earn more than your average female basketball player. But that's just the like what the product is. So you find product brands like or Ford or like recently Hennessy is the official partner of Xakeka NBA right now. So big brands are associated with the NBA rather than Xakeka WNBA. So that's why you find that there's a big margin of difference in terms of salary. Sort of like the same with the
Any
other sport or any other industry. For example, a female model earns more than a male model, which is something it's never talked about. Just to give you the balance there. It's not that industry you find that it's always the men that get paid more. But for example, modeling, the girls get paid let's say 75% more than guys get paid modeling. And that's from Xakeka and accredited agency Echeta Londo. Okay, that's not just off the top of my head. That's a fact.
Okay.
Wow. See, like I said, class lapa, we always learn from guests zethu. That's why ndithanda uba sibe ne discussions, you know, other than just ukuhlabeng imibuzo. Uyabo. This is Ziyakhiphato8 and I'm ndedwa ke. Elamigama dingu-D. I've got Tony Beats in the house as well as Charlotte Wakambata, and we chilling with our guest Lindani Xakeka, usuka kwi team called Hermanus Whale Hoopers, basketball team. Yalapha ke ezwelihle kwela Hermanus, and he's also a coach. So ke umjita is still schooling us ukuthi basketball isebenza njani, because I know abantu abaninzi we do see abantu ekhaleni playing the sport okanye sayibona TV and we may not have the idea yokuthi what's going on kwambani yabona. So now we're getting into it. Autiam, so obviously there was a point ebomini where you didn't know how to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you knew nothing about the sport.
Yeah.
So what got you interested into a sport, and then how did you get to learn how to play? Because one thing in the Azio, I've witnessed you play. You are a very good player. In fact, I've played against you and I realized the good team. Gunzima up.
Yeah. It's the work you put in.
Yeah.
So like I said before, it was 2013 when I first saw it being incorporated esikolweni. They started playing it. I wasn't that interested because basically I was involved with the soccer from the local level and then from the school level also. So nidlalela team yesikolo, and I didn't take note of Ebola. But then you find that I found there were too much politics. Eboleni.
There's always politics.
But you find that sometimes ufumana abantu who are open-minded. Yeah, politics are in everything, but then you need people that are open-minded in order for you to work properly in Abantu and then to get to a certain point where you reach a goal that you've set for yourself. So in 2017, a friend of mine called OST Asipem Dlogovan, he played the sport. Then he invited me like, come on, let's go play basketball, because he loved basketball at that time. And then he was like, come, let's play basketball. I had no clue what I was doing. I was bouncing the ball with both of my hands. I was holding the ball, then dropping it again. And then he kept on telling me, no, you're not supposed to do this. Candy, what's going on? Aren't you just supposed to bounce this ball and just throw it?
Yeah.
So they try to find out, but no, actually there's a lot of intricacies to it that you need to know, and a lot of rules to it that you need to know in order for you to play it. So that actually attracted me to it, like I said before, was the physical nature of it. About it gives you a proper body, or a balanced body. You will exercise your full body. And then, and for money, when I always do my research, so that if you're gonna ask me about it, I have to have an answer for it, because if you ask, that means you don't know, and then if I said I don't know also, then see we black hole so again.
Yeah.
So I did my research about it, and then I saw there's a lot of passion that goes into basketball, because when you play a sport, let's say for instance you're running, but running isn't just running, but you run if you have a goal.
Yeah.
So it's literally incorporating it into life now. Your run determines how you get to your goal. Then how you prepare for that run means that you're also planning how to reach that goal also. So incorporating life into basketball, I saw that, okay, no, you can literally learn and be able to deal with life through basketball, which is when I really got into it then. And I've even saw that basketball turned into therapy for me, where if that I'm dealing with, if I pick up a ball, start bouncing it, my mind starts getting clearer. My mindset is clear. I can think about stuff properly, because all of that energy
tension,
that goes into your body, I'm releasing all of the tension that's in my body, and now I'm able to think and resolve matters in a more proficient way just by playing basketball. Then I saw, okay, no, this is more than just a sport. If you have a passion for it, then it can do more for you than just physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I relate with the attention, because as soon as you bounce that ball, get tension.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm one of those abantu who ended up ndifaka ilendo I ring.
Yeah, I remember you used to have a hoop under electricity in the location.
Yeah,
you always
right,
thought, what's wrong with this guy?
Right under a transformer. There was ilanduki hoop payana. And I used to play even nasebusuku.
It's true.
Anytime up until about 11 p.m. I would be playing. And there would be comments, obviously, zabantu basekhlalen ukuthi, all right, lo muntu uthena. And I say, wadlala yedwa. No.
That's how you know you're doing something right.
Yes, and then there would be those who are interested, bazodlala nabo. But I realized ukuthi anytime I had, issues like you said, mhlambi, you're stressed out. As soon as you go and play, you forget ukuthi you ever had such challenges. So
it's a perfect word that Charlotte just used. It's an outlet for you for everything that you're facing in your life.
Yeah.
Even my girlfriend knows if I have something, she's just gonna tell me, just go bounce your ball. So for me it's that, an outlet.
Obviously, I was slightly close to Elangen,
the field court. Yeah.
So if you're going through some stuff, are you able to whip on some clamby pie strat in Pamgo Yard?
So other thing that I found with Elanski basketball also, I don't even need a ball. Like there's some routines that I can do without a ball.
Oh yes,
that's interesting.
Yeah,
exactly. So let's say for instance, my handling drills. I have handling drills. I used to have a ball made out of plastic, a big ball like the size of a basketball, made out of plastic, which helped me improve handles, meaning handles the way I handle the ball and hand. So the bounce. A bounce plastic compared to a normal ball, a normal basketball differs. You find that you have to be able to control it. It needs you to have more control over the plastic ball. And if you play that plastic ball on ilanzika inga, which is grass, it needs you to be more proficient in your handling also. So now when I get to the handling of the actual ball, my handles are more advanced because I use something that gave me more troubles than the normal ball. Even maybe like doing exercise, let's say for an instance, I have a wall in front of me, then I have to shuffle, that shuffle that Muhammad Ali used to do, the shuffles that things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can definitely
Therapy.
relate to that because as soon as you said like basketball is like an outlet for me, I immediately thought of kickboxing because I do kickboxing. Yeah, but and also like you said, you don't necessarily always need like a punching bag.
The
There's certain
equipment, yeah.
techniques that you
Exactly.
need. Yeah, but you practice like in your spare
Yeah.
time and yeah.
Charlotte had a question off air. And andifuna ibuza ngokwami, I would like uba ayibuze the issue of the height.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Charlotte, go for it.
Yeah, I've always wondered about in basketball, like, because when you look at the players NBA, it's always like really tall guys, and there's this stereotype that's attached to basketball.
Yeah.
But basketball,
It's
like you just assume uba interest with basketball because
Exactly,
that's just what you associate with the
Yeah.
sport. So now it's all good. Until you are me, and I'm short,
Yeah.
well, and I'm interested in the sport. Like how does that how does that affect me? Is that a requirement, or is it just a stereotype?
So yeah, let's say let's get to the details of it. The people that play basketball, or the positions of it. So you get your shooting guard, you get your point guard, and then you get your power forwards, you get your small forwards, you get your center. It's different roles that people play. Such is life. You need a different role for everything. It's not one size fits all. So basically, historically, people who played basketball were tall people, where you have to dunk the ball, you have to do that. For example, your Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is a legend in the sport, your Bill Russells were tall people. Yeah. Your Michael Jordans were tall people. Everyone knows Michael Jordan was a tall guy. They might even not know who Michael Jordan is, but they
know his shoes.
But they wear Jordans. They're gonna wear Jordans. They're gonna tell you about Jordans. Yeah. So yeah, historically it's tall people, but quite recently, there's a guy called Stephen Curry. There's a guy called Kyrie Irving. Those are short guys, like 5'7", 5'6". Like that's in feet. That are short, but with everything, even with life, you have to work with what you have. So those guys took like the driving into the basket to score a hoop. There's a layup in basketball. If you do a layup, then you're inside there's a line that's there, the 3-point line. If you're inside the 3-point line, everything that you score inside there counts as 2 points. Anything that you score outside the 3-point line counts as 3 points. So that's basically how the score goes. So you'll find that a lot of guys that are short are able to shoot. So now, check now, the guys that are tall are mostly inside the centers. You even find a small, you can't tell, but Umdu is playing a small. If I tell you Umdu, but then his position is a small forward, you'll think that how is this guy small? But you call him he's that tall, but you're calling him a small forward. No, basically that's just his role in the field. Maybe he's a shooting forward. They're just basically on the flanks of the point guard, which is on the center. Then you find the center that's beneath the hoop. You call that guy the center that's there. So the guys that are short, they mostly shoot. Or so they're more responsible for the 3 points in the game.
So that's the more points.
Counts more, yes, exactly. It counts more. Then the guys inside, those ones that get the 2 points inside. So you find that the score comes from the guys that are actually short that are playing, and then you find the guys that are inside, those are the ones that get the 2 points, but every point counts.
I see.
Kau, explain it. There's this moment with basketball whereby Wongumdi is on their toes at the end of the match. Where everybody's anticipating what iyangena okanye ingeni le ball. So yeah, can you explain that moment, Guti, what they call it, and just give a picture?
So like I said before, like we play 4 quarters. So 12 minutes of for 4 quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. Now you get to the fourth quarter. Now, any quarter you have a shot clock. That's what we call a shot clock. In some in some regulations, you get the shot clock is let's say 20 seconds. So that's how much of time, how long of time you have until you shoot on the next you shoot on the next hoop. So if you don't shoot before that 20 seconds is up or that 24 seconds is up, that means that the ball is turned over to the other team, and that's costly to your team now. So every time when the time goes up, the 24 seconds goes up, you hear a sound that goes ding, like the buzzer. That's called, if you score and then the ball is still in the air, let's say 3, 2, 1, and then it goes in whilst in the air, you shot it before the time is up, that's called now a buzzer beater. So that's where maybe someone scores a buzzer beater in the fourth quarter, like the end of the quarter, and it's a game winning shot. The whole stadium, the whole arena goes nuts.
Wow. On average, like how long is the game? Because quarter, I'm thinking, how long?
So 12 minutes is the given time, but you get let's say 5 timeouts per team. Like the timeout is when the coach calls the timeout. No, there's actually times where you can call the timeout. Let's say they give you those timeouts, but if you overuse your timeouts, you don't get like an extra one or extra timeouts. If you use all your timeouts, then that's that. But then coaches can call a timeout when they see, okay, no, they want to re-strategize, or maybe want to get a different game plan to what they were actually using. Then they call a timeout, sit down with your players, and come up with a game plan. So with basketball, it's like you can't have a strategy where you say at the beginning of this game, this is what we're going to use, and then the whole game, that's how you play. You adjust mid-game. So you have to adjust to the other team's strategy, and then you have to continuously have strategies in place. So let's say, for instance, your shooting guard. There's a specific place where your point guard knows, okay, if we're playing this system of playing, my shooting guard is always going to be on the flank. My shooting guard is always going to be in the middle, or he's always going to be on the side. Like, you're constantly having changing strategies in your mind, but that's always in game. So your mind is working overtime even when you're playing.
Okay, hold up.
That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
On that note, let's take a little break and then we'll be back. Well, we're still talking your basketball with the guest here to Lindani Xakeka, who's a coach as well as a player. We team called Hermanus Whale Hoopers. Yes, is really clear. So Autiam, obviously it's got some challenges.
Yeah.
And you guys want to see yourselves ni somewhere in the future. So let us know, Guti, do you get the support from the structures? Any support?
That's a sigh.
Okay.
Meaning that not actually, not really. With the progress that's there, we have a hoop, although albeit not up to par or the standard that is necessary for us to have in order to properly host e-games by Hermanus, because the hoop that we have is not it's supposed to be 3 meters high. It's not. It's supposed to have a rubber flexing hoops. It doesn't. So anything like that. But Saifumana, during e-term, I think the councillor was Vuyani Matot.
Oh yeah,
shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to him, because he was really involved in regards to his investments in the sport. He had the tournaments that were named after him, Besmane Xakeka, and then he was giving his hand in those basketball. That was towards the end of his term, and then we got those hoops installed. Which is a kwasa.
Gojing.
Pagojinga.
Yeah.
Gojinga. It's kubasathi gojinga nangoku.
Yeah, kusajinga.
Kusajinga pa, yeah. So yeah, in regards to infrastructure, that's what we have. In regards to us playing, We've had Ilanzika games to Stellenbosch. We had games Worcester. We've had games here where we hosted Ilanzika Worcester Knights, which is the team from Worcester. So basically that's it. But a challenge is the traveling, which is the cost that we have to get in order to get to those teams. We can literally have games anywhere. Because I've made the effort of having contact nezinye teams ngaphandle, but it's just a case of us getting there.
So they're willing to host you guys?
They're willing to host us. We even had an opportunity to compete. It was sort of like a championship league. It was from June up until up until December, which because it was going to be hosted at Stellenbosch, but we can't because of the transport, and we can't because we don't have a uniform, the proper uniform. Yeah. So abantu abasincedisayo kwezondo, for example uSibusiso Gom, which is Ilanzika, an official individual from Kwatikesi. That guy, props to him, because anything that we need, we can cry out to him. The code isn't even under his him, Ilanzika Overberg or Pakosispanisaki, actually under someone else. That someone else.
Wow.
We don't even know. And then it's in Yamazim personally, but Zange waba involved to the extent by Yamaz. Okay, this is the guy that's supposed to be the driving force behind e-basketball.
You know, abantu bafana noTasbu babalekile emphakathini.
Exactly.
People who decide ukuthi they will extend isandla, you know, and help out without being appointed.
Exactly, yeah. Because even with me, it's a case of no one appointed me to be the authority we will hoopers. I took it upon myself because naturally born leader, but we leave that.
Yeah.
But then
keep going.
But then it's sort of like wherever there's a leadership vacuum, and then there's somewhere, and you see yourself as a person that can fill that vacuum. It is your responsibility, and it is a need for you to fill that vacuum, because you will not be even doing it for yourself only, because there's kids involved in this, from primary school to high school. Ukabandwana, who when they see me they cry, they acquire as a coach. I don't even see myself as that. I just see myself as a vessel or something that they can use, a tool for them to come into Ilanzika basketball.
Basically a coach. Yeah.
Basically a coach, okay. I'll take it.
Well, that's how they see you, bro. That's how they see you. And
I don't really like roles unless you can play the role.
Yes.
That's what I always say. Don't give me the role. Don't give me the title unless I'm playing the role. But so if they see me as playing the role, then I'll accept it and I'll live up to it. We've tried approaching Maspala,
the Overstrand
municipality, the guy that's there, to no avail. There's a problem now with Ilanzika, the usage of the multi-purpose court.
Gojing,
yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on
there. There's a lot going on there. There's Ilanzika, five-a-side football, there's netball, a couple of teams of netball, there's basketball, to the point where there was friction between netball and basketball in terms of the playing time. But then now, I did invite the individual from a municipality to come and mediate between the basketball and netball for us to coexist in the structure and give direction. He ghosted us. It was a case of him ghosting us, so yeah.
The times Kalukuluma you mentioned ukuthi it team is like at amateur level, ne?
Yeah.
So bemfuna understand ukuthi with basketball is it important to be like a registered team and the more registered, is there any like changes as back on in terms of getting help? Maybe no mtu mausi use picture. Does it make it better? Or maybe after more serious to see ni registered or maybe you just starting out?
With any organization, you have to have the necessary paperwork for you to get the necessary funding or the necessary support. So basically, Masiti Basketball is sort of like an NPO, non-profit organization where kunyanzekile ibe ne constitution. I've done a constitution of our team. We have it. Anytime where I'm dealing with someone in regards to basketball in Hermanus and the team, the constitution is there. We need to tweak it because there's a lot of people that were involved but no longer involved that we need to suss out and to give new people the new reins on it. Let's say for an example, there's a team called Cape Town Tigers. They just did a tour actually. They were in Paris, they were in New York doing a tour after they competed in the BAL championship, which is a basketball Africa League, where they were competing with all the teams from Africa. They represented the national team as a team from South Africa that was participating there. I think it was the semi-finals, if not the semi-finals. Yeah, they made it to the semi-finals. It was their first year this year, but they're going there again, which is the Cape Town Tigers. So they were part of CTBA, which is the Cape Town Basketball Association. So in order for you to be able to participate because the championships and all of those tournaments, you have to be part of an association. So if you're part of an association, then you can be able to participate in the tournaments that's going to lead you up to having to being able to play in those type of leagues. And with the BAL now, they've incorporated the NBA onto it. If you mention the NBA, let's say the number 23. The number 23, that's Michael Jordan's number he used to wear with the Chicago Bulls. It's a whole culture, from music to clothes. For example, right now, Tony is wearing in the number 23 on his sweater.
Yeah, man.
What are the chances?
See, exactly. There's Red Bat from World Sports Scene. The clothing is mostly basketball. People wear the names or Kevin Durant or Kobe Bryant or James. Those names they might not even know about the attire basketball. Just because ibone yantle kwa sports scene, but actually in actual fact it's a basketball attire.
You also mentioned Gwilandukwi adverts. Like adverts.
Exactly. You watch what is this?
Mr. Price.
Mr. Price, Street Fever, or Sprite, or through the Truwords group in the identity ads. We see Nancy basketball. And I've been asking myself, do these officials not see like the rise of basketball where
our local officials?
The local officials here, do they not see the rise of basketball as a code and as a established product? Because it's a product. If you associate with basketball, it automatically means we are born with the brands as goal. Hennessy now is an official partner of the NBA. They had Ilan Ziga. It was sort of like a coaching clinic. Just last weekend in UCT. That's a coaching clinic we could have been a part of, but we can't because we're not fully established. We don't have an association that we belong to.
Hey man, kwi officials there too. I just want to say, if Ukonumdomazi or if there's someone who knows someone, please Buffet to see. We need assistance.
And the other thing with basketball, we might be mentioning in everything I said. I always say Hermanus. It's not Zwelihle. To everyone that's interested in it, from Mount Pleasant to Westernby, Westcliff, anywhere, anyone is invited to play, because with Ilanzika basketball is a racially integrated sport. Multi-gender, with everything. Yeah. It's a multifaceted sport that incorporates everyone there. If you're Muslim, doesn't matter. Kyrie Irving is Muslim. He plays basketball. We respect your fast. We respect everything that you do with basketball. That's where everyone can meet up and have one common goal.
And you guys have had Ilanuga visitors coming through to play Pi Ilan again.
Yeah, exactly. There's a program I think they have, Camp Hill, where they get abantu from
exchange students. It's
sort of like something like that, an exchange student. We've had guys from the UK, we've had guys from Germany, we've had guys from the US who come and play with us here, because that's
amangam.
Yeah,
I want to make
but
it clear.
even there's also a colored guy also, like colored as in the black guy, because colored in that is black. Anyone of color, and also played with us. I think he was also from Germany.
Yeah. So the ideally they would play with you guys for the duration of
their period here. And
so
they
like
even,
sometimes they spend a year.
They spend a year, spend 6 months here. And like there's a guy that guy I miss so much. His name was Jacob. Like he really supported the team. Even with our first game, he was the guy that came in and gave us the money for transportation in order for us to go play Stellenbosch, which was our first game.
Shout out to Jacob.
To Jacob, yeah. If Jacob maybe is listening, give me your number again. I lost it.
Okay.
No. Oh. You basically covered any question that I had. Oh, okay. No. Also, I think just the comment that I had earlier was, so I think what Lindani has basically said today is there's definitely a lot of potential for basketball. Upper Overstrand, there's a gap for it. Like the fact that you guys could have participated in like what was happening in Cape Town, but you weren't able to because you lack resources. So if it ever was a question of legitimacy, like it's not even a thing. It's a legitimate thing. We just need like our local government bodies to get more involved in Mhlawumbe, like in it. And my next question will be like, what then can we do? Because you've done the basic steps that you could have done, as umdu or part of the team. What do you guys think? It's not just a question for Lindani. Like, what do you guys think we can do, or what must happen?
Yeah, I think as a community, perhaps sidinga indobana as officials visited by mhlambi people on your behalf now to say, we are aware ukuthi there's this team Ekoyo and this is what they've been trying to do, and they are crying ukuthi they come here and they are not getting help. So you know that situation whereby as young people siyaya endaweni wanting help, then sithe siyocela uncle please can you sithethelela, because we've been trying. So I think I think we need abanye abantu from the community. Hence bensazama ukutsho nam earlier ukuthi ndizama ukwenza plea yokuthi bakhona abantu who hang out nezi officials when kazi off duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if by any chance they get to watch ilanduku interview lena ku YouTube wethu, that please try and say something to as officials ukuthi look man, siyadingana guys. Siyadingana. Asilwi but siyadingana.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's going to be a huge benefit, especially for the youth. Elapha eZwelihle and the surrounding areas in Hermanus. With basketball, it's not even a fact of just playing the sport. It's we try to incorporate, like for example, let's say I think it was around March. I had a group of young ladies, I think around from 10 up until 13, that came there, said, we don't have anything to do. I think it was my off day around 2 p.m. So we don't have anything to do. Can't we maybe join you? Because I was playing alone. I say, oh yeah, of course. I think it was a group of like 6 or 7 of them. Like when there's little girls, like 7 of them, they don't have anything to do during that time. If Bending Ekopa, where else would they have gone to?
See what I'm saying? So
there's a gap, especially for Ilanziga, the youth, to be able to have those kind of spaces where uzokwazi ubathathe and put their energy into good use.
I'm saying things in my head, and then the next thing you see what I'm saying. Every kasi in a Masai my too, there's the negative side and there's the positive side.
Yeah.
You know, and as not choice but to keep pushing the positive side. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
As not your choice, because once we let go, izinto are going to be way too bad for wonke umuntu. So we still have to keep that balance ukuthi let's keep the positive side and let's qokelela abantwana to get involved kwinto ezi positive and sport
has always been that
not wonke umuntu will end up ku netball. I do like into bana there are people involved in netball. Not wonke umuntu is going to end up emculweni okanye kwi soccer. I do like the fact that bakhona abantu aba involved emculweni na kwi soccer. But here's another opportunity because abanye abantwana they don't see themselves fitting with soccer, fitting kumculo, fitting ku netball, and they want to try something new. And this is one of those. And so hence I'm saying ukuthi i-officials zethu please siyacela ukuthi, and I believe i-officials setha ngazo ngoku ayengabantu abamhlophe, ngabantu abamnyama abaphila elokishini. So in case mhlambe umuntu ebengarealize ukuthi ubaluleke kangakanani ukuthi, well, we are saying it now that wena Mr. Official ukubalekile ukuthi siyakudinga. You know what I mean? Abantwana bayakudinga. So yeah man, without kwitsala sikulapha ku Ziyakhipha 6 to 8 talking to Lindani Xakeka, one of the guys about talented when it comes to esports, say basketball. First of all, I used to play namajita back in the day, you know, and been managed to win, but lately
you haven't been putting the work in.
I haven't been putting in the work. And Lindani, hey, he's giving me a hard time buffet when I play against him. So that just shows Uguti how determined he is, and let's hope Uguti he'll get the help that he needs. And on that note,
that's the buzzer beater.
But one more thing out here, abantu bafuna ukulandela, and if bafuna to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, there's such on all social medias, Lindani Xakeka. You can even email if you have anything to say or anything to add in regards to a team, wellhoopers@gmail.com. You can get in touch with us there.
Okay.
Sringa baya nabantu bonke who inspire. Start amandla ku interviews in pursuit of dreams and desires. Are you watching from Mekai? Welcome. Sisi kumaphupho wako wonke don't retire. Nope. Bude maphupeni wako wonke don't retire. Subscribe. Ziyakhipha 6 to 8. Spetty content yakho is a date. Cause are you relate? Subscribe. Ziyakhipha 6 to 8. Spetty content yakho is a date. Cause are you relate? Ulindebani. Subscribe.